guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I created this full face of Jaclyn Cosmetics. I did test out her new blurring skin tint, and then I also picked up a concealer. If you guys want to see what products I used to achieve this face and to see my opinions on what I used, then let's go ahead and jump into the video. You already know what we're doing. So today I am going to be testing out the new Jaclyn Cosmetics Complexion. So I do have the skin tint and the concealer. I have the blurring skin tint in the shade Deep. And then for concealer, I got a lighter shade. So I got medium golden. The blurring skin tint says it's a sheer coverage that smooths, blurs, and enhances skin's appearance for an effortless, no makeup look with a natural finish. So this is gonna be a little dewy, a little glowy, and you guys know that I have oily skin. So I'm pretty much oily year round. So I definitely need like an oil controlling primer. So I won't be using this as a primer, but I'll be using it under my makeup. I'm gonna prime my face using the One Size Secure the Blur primer. I absolutely love this primer. This is definitely one of my top 3 primers. If you have like more combo to oily or dry skin, I'm sure that you could just use that skin tint on its own, but for me, I already know my skin and I'm like super duper oily. We're gonna be doing the skin first, but I'm also going to be using a full face of Jaclyn. It does come with a pump. When you pump it out, it looks like this. So as you can see, it looks darker than my skin tone, but like it said, it's pretty sheer, so as you can see, it just gives like a little color. And normally like I wear like Fenty like 420, and this is what it looks like. So you get like a slight sheen, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna do the other side. And when I first heard the description of this product, it was definitely giving me Charlotte Tilbury, the Flawless Filter vibes, and nobody really knows like what to do with that one. They kind of use it like as a booster, like a foundation booster or like a skin tint. So it's pretty much like the Jaclyn Hill one, but just a little bit more dewier. And people love that one. The Jaclyn Hill one is cheaper than the Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury is $44 for the full size, and then the skin tint is $36. And as you can see, it definitely did even out my skin, but you can still see like my blemishes and scars. If you didn't feel comfortable just like going out in your bare skin, throw this skin tint on, little concealer under the eyes, and head out the door. And I feel like that's why she came out with like the skin tint and then a more full coverage, just for that effortless look. I know there were some people kind of disappointed with the shade range, and yes, she could have taken this opportunity to do like a more extensive line like Fenty, but her shade range for her skin tint is pretty much on par with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. They have like the same amount of shades. They both have 12. So I'm like, you know, if people are in love with the Charlotte Tilbury, they can be okay with the Jaclyn. Of course, there's always room for improvement. Normally when she comes out with her products, I'm really not interested, but I picked these up because, you know, I thought I needed them, and we'll see how my makeup turns out. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Fenty Profilter Soft Matte Foundation. This is in the shade 420. I'm going to be taking the Morphe x Ariel A24 brush to apply that. And I'm just going to tap that all over. And using this skin tint, I don't really need to use a lot of foundation because it already gives that coverage. We'll see how I like doing like skin first, because normally I'm definitely a more eyes before foundation type of girl, but you know, it's okay to try different techniques and see how you like it. And you never know, you might like it, you might not. Normally for concealer, I always use the Juvias Place concealer. This is in the shade number 12. This is more of like a skin tone shade for me that's lighter, just slightly lighter, but still close to my skin tone. But I always pair it with something brighter. I never just wear this one shade alone. That is what number 12 looks like. For a brightener shade, I will use the number 16 from Juvia's Place. That is what number 16 from Juvia's Place looks like. This is more of a satin finish. The Jaclyn concealer is a buildable medium to full coverage concealer, visibly brightens, blurs, and flexes with skin for a flawless finish all day long. It does have like that doe foot applicator, and it has almost like a little pocket on the tip to hold product, so you will get a pretty good amount of product. This is what the Jaclyn Hill medium golden looks like. So as you can tell, it doesn't really have a sheen compared to the others. It's definitely more matte. Like I said, I have oily skin, but I do have like fine lines underneath my eyes, but I'm really gonna be focusing this concealer just right in the inner corner. I'm just going to cream contour really quick using Juvia's Place Shade Stick in Tunisia. Now I'm just going to take the Juvia's Place underneath my eyes. Taking that Jaclyn and putting her right here. Down the bridge of my nose for some brightness. And on my chin. A little bit on the outer corner here. There. I'm gonna take my e.l.f. complexion sponge and just blend the chin out first. And I want to start on the edges. Bring that out. And then work my way in. Then take the bottom of my beauty blender to just blend out that harsh line. And then I'm bringing that onto my eyelid. And to the other side. Definitely blend it out very nicely. Now I'm gonna do my nose. Add the remainder on my forehead. That combo looks really good so far. I can't complain. I look very smooth. To set underneath my eye, I'm gonna be taking her brightening and setting powder. I believe this is in like their deep shade, so this is the darkest colorway she has. and it looks like this. So I'm going to be taking apricot right here. I'm going to be using the Morphe times Ariel A14, dipping into apricot and just setting that first. Lately, I've been liking to set my under eyes and then bake. I'm just using this to set all my highlighted areas. I'm going to use this to set my lids. And I don't have any of her like loose setting powders just because, like I said, I have oily skin and I have a lot of powders, and honestly right now I'm just really loving the one size translucent setting powder. To bake my face, I'm going to be using the one size translucent powder, and here and here. Now I'm gonna add a little bit onto my eyelids just to keep that matte. For eyeshadow, I'm gonna be taking the Jaclyn Hill times Morphe Devine Neutrals. So yeah, I'm excited. I got this for Christmas from a friend, and this is what the shades look like. They're super pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and take Booked right here. And I'm gonna be using a Morphe M535, and I'm just going to blend that all in the crease and bring it out slowly. Bring it into this nose contour area. And I think I'm gonna do a matte eye look. And I usually don't have any issues like with any of the Morphe eyeshadow palettes. I actually do enjoy the formula. For me, I'd rather use Morphe than ColourPop. I like how you can build up the color rate, the colors. You have control. You can make it as deep as you want, or you can do like a soft like wash of color. ColourPop, their shadows just don't run deep enough. There's not a lot of depth, so I just find myself using a lot of other palettes with that one, but you know, yeah. Anyway, this is basically like a smaller condensed version of her original palette. So I mean, this is not a necessity, but if you want something that's convenient, not so like big, this is a really nice palette to use, and I would definitely recommend this for anyone that's like trying to get into makeup and they want to do like simple natural looks. I feel like this palette is definitely going to do that for you. I'm just using that same Booked shade to just really come in and define that nose. Taking the Morphe times Ariel, the A29, and I'm gonna go into Just Barely, and I'm just going to tap that onto the lid. No cut crease today. Just want something soft. Then with no extra product, I'm just going to take that other brush and just blend inward to fade. So we have that transition just using two colors. I'm gonna do liner and lashes. For liner, I'm gonna be taking the One Size Point Made eyeliner, and this is in Bodacious Black. And for lashes, I'm gonna be taking these lashes from Lash 7, and this is in the style Billionaire. These are super gorgeous, and they are only, I believe, like $7.99, and you can save some money using my code MUASHY if you're interested in these lashes. So I have lashes and brows done. So this look is looking good so far. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move into bronzer. I do have two of her blush duos. I have Hot Lava and Cocoa Rich, and then I have Be Rouge and Espresso Shot. This is Cocoa Rich and Hot Lava. This is Be Rouge and Espresso Shot, so it's not that dark. I can still use this in the summertime. I'm going to mix the blushes because I didn't pick up her Bad and Rougey blush collection because I have blush from other brands like Juvia's Place and the Crayon Case, and those are Black owned brands, and I don't really use a lot of blush like that, and those pretty much get me everything that I need. And I do have just like other blushes and other blush palettes, so I didn't see the need to get hers. I'm sure her formula is very nice, but I wasn't in the market for any new blushes. I'm gonna be taking my Morphe E4 brush, and I'm gonna go into Cocoa Rich, and I'm just going to warm up the skin. Now I do have cream contour on, but this is just gonna help warm up the skin. So as you can tell, it's definitely warming up, and this is more of a satin finish, so I wouldn't recommend this in the summertime if you are oily, because I get like extremely oily, and so this is gonna be better like in the cooler months. So like right now, or you know, if you're just into that skin-like satin finish bronzer, it's not like super luminous, but it's not matte either. As you can see, that definitely warmed up the skin. And then I'm gonna be taking this Tres Luce B101. It's just like a fluffy eye brush, and I'm gonna take that same bronzer shade and just use that to contour the nose. For blush, I'm going to be mixing the blushes. So I'm going to be mixing Hot Lava and Be Rouge. So I'm going to be taking the Morphe Ariel A58. You could also use this to cream contour, but today I'm going to be using it for blush. And I'm just going to be mixing those two shades and just tap that on. And that is a pretty color. And now I'm just going to dust off that bake. To dust off the under eye area, I'm just going to be mixing these two at the top and just dust that. And that definitely brightened up. This blush is looking a little strong, so I'm just taking my sponge and going over that. To melt everything together, I'm going to be taking the One Size Preserve the Serve. This is their luminous setting spray. Even though I'm oily, I do like to use this as like a refresher, and then use the waterproof, the matte one, to set my makeup at the end. For highlighter, I do have a variety of her highlighters. I do have the Flare palette, and this is what it looks like. These two are my favorite shades, and I wish she would have released all of these shades. She released Exposure and Turned On, but those like are a little too deep for me. But I love this Made You Look shade and Glow Up. I love them. So unfortunately, this was limited edition, so I won't be using this, but I really do love this palette. I also have her Luminous Powder, so I'll be using this. This is in Feeling It. This is a loose, normally I'm not a loose powder highlight type of girl. It's a softer version. Also have Megawatt, which is like that amped up version, and it just is that bronzy color. So this is a little bit darker for me right now. It's like that bronzy gold, and normally I like a lighter highlighter, like a more champagne-ish gold color. I also have Balm, which is basically the loose version of Mesmerized. It's that pinky gold shade. Taking my Artist Couture AC03, and I'm gonna go into that Luminous Powder. This is gonna give you like that soft glow, nothing too crazy. And I'm just going to start off with this and just build it up. And this is perfect for like those natural days when you just want a natural highlight. This is very similar to like that Laura Mercier like luminous setting powder or luminous glow. Very similar, where it's like a softer highlight. To go on top, I'm gonna be taking the Mesmerized Pressed Highlighter, and I'm just going to basically amp up my highlighter. So I'm just placing that right at the tops, just like that, just for a little bit of brightness. Because like I said, I love a highlighter, so I want to see it. Then I'm going to take a little bit onto my nose. That is the skin. So now onto lips. I did pick up 2 of her lip liners. I have Toasty, which is more of that like MAC cork. So very similar to my skin tone. And then her darkest shade, which is Bold Brew. So this is gonna be similar to that MAC chestnut color. And that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips using Toasty. And I usually like a more defined lip. I really don't like liners that are similar to my color, but this is good when using like a lighter lip shade and just blending it. I did pick up her liquid lipsticks. I only picked up 1. I picked up the shade I'm a Cancer because I'm a Sag, but I do love my Cancers. My husband and my daughter are Cancers, so I had to pick this up. This comes with 3.55 milliliters or 0.12 fluid ounces. So you don't really get a lot of product in here. Her liquid lipsticks cost $20, and then I also have Dose of Colors, which I love, and this is like the shade Extra Toasty, and this comes with 4.5 grams or 0.16 ounces, and this is $18. So for $2 less, you get more product in here. So I would recommend, if you want to save some coin, go with Dose of Colors, unless you just really want to support Jaclyn. These are super matte, which I love. Her lips are not like super matte, but I would say they're very similar to Kylie's new formula, where it like kind of dries down, but not really. It has like a slight little tack to it. If you wanted, you could go and leave it like this, but I am not. I just don't like that washed out look. So I'm gonna be taking Bold Brew just to define my lips. And I'm just going to go ahead and define my lips. And that is the look. So now I'm just going to set my face. I'm gonna be taking the One Size Until Dawn. This is their mattifying waterproof setting spray, and it is like an aerosol. I will say my skin is looking super flawless. I don't really see any difference from when I usually do my makeup. I really do, as you can see, because her cheek products are luminous, you can see like a little bit of texture on my skin, but that doesn't bother me. So out of the skin tint and the concealer, is the skin tint like necessary? No, and I don't recommend it for oily skin, but if you're going to use it, I would recommend pairing it with a foundation, just to like help give you that skin like appearance or like a little bit of glow. Usually what I'll do, like in the winter months for my skin, I'll mix like a luminous or like satin or dewy foundation with my matte and do that. So that's how I would use it, is either to like mix it in with my foundation or use it underneath foundation. The concealer I do like, but like I said, I have oily skin. So I feel like, especially in the summertime, this concealer is going to work the best because right now it's colder outside. Usually more people are more dry. So I don't recommend it for, you know, the winter time if you're not oily, or if you don't have oily skin or just really dry and dehydrated under eyes. And I feel like that's why she came out with her under eye primer. So definitely use that if you have it, or just take an eye cream. Eyeshadow was very nice. The mattes blended out phenomenal. Usually Morphe does. Like I said, I never have any issues with Morphe. Surprisingly, that brightening and setting palette definitely brightened me up. I really wasn't expecting mixing those two top shades to really kind of like brighten me up. I did pick up her translucent one, and I mean, I guess I could use that now. I'm gonna be just popping that on the innermost corner, just right here, and it is gonna give you like that white pop because it is white. But if you want like that extra pop on the inner corner, you could use this, and you know, that's really gonna help brighten you and make you awake. You could definitely skip the skin tint, grab the concealer, but just make sure you prep your under eyes, skip her liner, skip the lip, because like I said, it is like a little sticky, just like the Kylie ones. But I mean, if you like something more comfortable, you definitely can't feel this. But for me, this is giving like Maybelline matte lipsticks to me, where it doesn't fully dry. But I mean, if you like that formula, go for it. My favorite formulas are like the Dose of Colors, Kylie's old formula, ColourPop, Fenty, Those dry completely matte, but some people say that those are drying, but those are what I prefer. Just use a chapstick underneath. The bronzer duos, I would say skip. Like a lot of these, if you're oily, you can skip because they have like that luminosity and they're not gonna last that long on your skin. My skin is probably gonna be oily within like the next 3 hours. Now don't get me wrong, it does look flawless right now, but for like longevity, it's not gonna last long. But the palette, I would say grab the under eye palette. Her highlighters, definitely grab. Those are stunning. You could skip the eyeshadow palette unless you're a neutral lover like me. I definitely enjoy those products, but yeah, that is my full face using Jaclyn Cosmetics. I will see you guys in my next video.